And I loved Voldaren Pariah, but all right, Aspire Bluff Canal to start things off here for Travis. And we are underway here in round 3, not 2, and not 23. Inspiring Vantage, and then we're going to have a Cathartic Reunion, and that is going to discard a copy of Prized Amalgam and a Mountain. So this is important as he now has one of his amalgams in the graveyard. Spirit Chill, you hate Pariah. Well, I can't agree with you on that one. Sorry, I loved that card when it was being played. I still have my foil set, in fact. An important card here for Cody is this copy of Scrap Heap Scrounger. The pretty much unkillable. Now, Travis did discard there a copy of Stitchwing Scab. Here's an attack for 3. It's going to knock Travis into 17. And the follow-up is an Aether Sphere Harvester. Going to give Cody 2 energy here. Now, this is important as Travis now does have in his graveyard the means to bring back his... If I can spell... bring back his Prized Amalgam. He can discard a card, discard 2 cards, pay 1 and a blue to return the Stitchwing Scab from play to the battlefield tapped. And then in the end step, it'll also bring back the Prized Amalgam. So this looks to be a crew on the Aether Sphere Harvester and an attack for 3. Cody looks to be paying the energy... Or sorry, this isn't Cody. My apologies. This is Kyle. My apologies. This is Kyle playing Marty Vehicles. So Travis is going to fall to 14. Kyle's going to go to 23. Then the follow-up is a copy of Veteran Motorist. There looks to be at least 1 copy of DePaula on the top there. Don't know if it stayed on top or what. But now I imagine that Travis is specifying here, at the end of your second main phase, I have effects. That's a really good effect as well. So we're going to Fiery Temper... Targeting, it looks like Kyle. So Kyle will fall to 20. He'll also discard a copy of Kozak's Return, return the Stitchwing Scab to play, deal 3 damage to Kyle, and the Amalgam comes back on the end step. There's a copy of Sanctum of Ugin. This is really important as he does play 4 copies of Elder Deep Fiend, and the Sanctums allow him to just kind of chain them together. So here's an attack for 7. And the biggest problem is with this kind of deck that with the recursion package between the Scabs and the Amalgams, it's really hard to keep things dead. Kyle looks to be deciding what he wants to do in terms of blocks here, if any. The Scab does fly, so that one he cannot block currently. He could also have cards like Shock in his hand or Harness Lightning to deal with some of these creatures. It looks like he's just going to take the 6 and fall to 14. So Travis evens things up at 14 apiece. And then passes the turn. So there could be something that involves Elder Deep Fiend here. Looks like no. Kyle looks to have drawn a copy of Unlicensed Disintegration. Good one to have here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to crew the Harvester. It's going to make it a 4/6. And here's an attack for 7. It's important. One of the kill spells that Travis's deck plays is Lightning Axe. Okay, here is... Yeah, there's the Deep Fiend. And we're gonna return Kozak's Return here. We're going to kind of flash it back. Now this is important as it will not kill the Aether Sphere Harvester, but he will tap the 4 lands that Kyle has in play. So I imagine we're going to see Kyle disintegrate the Fiend. Now this does mean that the Fiend has resolved. Yeah, the way the Deep Fiend works is the triggered ability does have to resolve first if you're going to try and target it. So that means that Kyle's going to float the 3 mana, let the Deep Fiend resolve, and then kill it post-combat. Yes, that's going to happen. So Travis is going to fall to 11 from the... Did he not flashback return? So, if I'm not mistaken, the motorist should be dead. Kyle did decide to gain 4 there. If I'm not mistaken, Travis is at 7. So, the motorist should be dead as far as I know. Because, if I'm not mistaken... Oh, you know what? It looks... No, actually, it looks like... No, he disintegrated the prized amalgam instead of the Deep Fiend. Interesting. There's an attack for 5 to bring Kyle down to 13. Travis also did not sacrifice his Sanctum of Ugin, which is also interesting because he's no longer able to chain together these Deep Fiends to lock Kyle out of mana. If he has a second copy in his hand, that's fine, doesn't matter, but that would be all of his blue mana being used up. Travis is saying what he wants to do here. He can, again, of course, recur that Stitchwing Scob if you'd like. Which would, again, bring back the prized amalgam. But we're going to have, we're going to discard here. We're going to discard Fiery Temper and a Wandering Fumarole. And we're going to Fiery Temper away the Veteran Motorist. This brings back the Scob. End step. We're going to have a trigger here. Bertry Furtry, I think that's how it's pronounced. Or Bertry Furtry. Thank you for following the channel, man. We appreciate that. We will send you your 10% off discount code to top8gaming.com. Welcome to the channel. Now, an important fact here is Travis is not able to emerge another Deep Fiend, as he only currently has 1 blue source available to himself. So he's no longer going to be able to actually tap down Kyle's mana. So Kyle does kind of have free reign this turn. Now, Kyle's not dead on the crackback currently. There's no creatures in play. So this Aether Sphere Harvester is not doing a whole lot at the moment. Scrap Heap Scrounger in the yard, of course. It is recurable. Gideon comes down. This will cost Kyle a life. So actually, I believe Kyle's at 11 now. He had to use 1 life prior on the black mana for Disintegration. He's going to go ahead and make a Night Token. Chooses not to attack with the Harvester, however. He's going to have it back for blocks. It does let him block the Scab, however... Gideon won't die. Yeah, Gideon will die. Yeah, if Travis wants it to, Gideon will die this turn. Travis setting out his mana how he wants to use it. Again, only 2 blue mana right now. So he's not really able at the moment to buy back a Stitchwing Scob and emerge a Deep Fiend. He can only do one of the 2. Young Hunger, how you doing, sir? Good afternoon to you. Okay, so here comes an attack. It looks like it's coming for 8 at Gideon. So if I'm Kyle, I just block the Deep Fiend with my Night Token and let Gideon... If it's going at Gideon, I'm not sure if it's going at Gideon or Kyle, of course. He's going to crew the Harvester. He's going to block the Scab. And it looks like he was attacking Kyle directly. So Kyle's going to fall to 6. He's going to go ahead and cast Kozilek's Return. It's going to kill the Harvester and the Night Token. Awesome, Young Hunter. What'd you play in Modern? Yeah, upkeep, tap all your lands. And yeah, it's going to be game. So Travis does take game 1. He did have a second copy of Deep Fiend to work with, and it did, of course, lock out Kyle's mana for that turn. So with only Gideon in play, it wasn't going to be lethal no matter what he did there. So looking forward to the sideboard here. Let's see. We've got for Kyle, we have a Walking Ballista, a Gideon, a Shock, an Immolating Glare, a Fatal Push, 2 Fairgrounds Wardens, 2 Declaration in Stone, 2 Fragmentize, 2 Selfless Spirit, and 2 Sky Sovereign Console Flagship. So, out of Kyle's sideboard, I like the extra copy of Gideon. I like the Immolating Glare. I like the Declaration in Stones. And I like the Selfless Spirits. Travis, on the other hand, has in his sideboard 2 copies of Dispel, 2 copies of Release the Gremlins, 2 Key to the City, 2 Negate, a Fevered Visions, 2 Nahiri's Wrath, a Pilgrim's Eye, a Fiery Temper, and 2 Wretched Gryphs. So out of Travis's sideboard, let's see, I like... Key to the City could be okay to take down troublesome planeswalkers. Negate is pretty good against vehicles. Nahiri's Wrath could be okay. Yeah, a few different cards. Oh, mono green wave, taking the top 8 way. Are you there, E Young Hunger? I like it. Okay, so game 2, Kyle will have the play, which is very important, as he is a aggressive deck, of course. So wants to get out of the gates as fast as he can and start applying pressure as fast as he can. Hello, Fuzzy. How's it going? So Travis is making a couple sideboard choices here, deciding what he wants to take out, bring in, all that good stuff. I don't like Fear Visions in this matchup against the Mardu deck. They're not going to hold a hand long enough for the Visions to do their job. You might be able to drop a couple of the discard spells. I'm not really sure. It looked like he brought in 6 cards. All right, so just shuffling up here, getting set for this game 2. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe... I think Kyle's 2-0, but I believe Travis is 1-1. Hunter, we had 13 today for our GPT. Welcome to you, sir, and that is the correct word to call me, so I appreciate you using that. It looks like Kyle's going to mulligan to 6 here. Pretty quickly, so either a lack of land or too many lands. Travis, on the other hand, looks to have kept his 7. No, this is the second table. Our top table would have been a repeat for one of our players, so we wanted to get some different decks on camera. But there is still a undefeated player at this table that I believe is again is Kyle. So Kyle is playing for the 3-0. Travis, if I'm not mistaken, is playing for 2-1 right now. Kyle keeps his 6, scries a copy of Hardic here into the bottom of his deck, and is going to start off with a Concealed Courtyard and a Thraben Inspector. So gets a clue. There it is. Travis is going to have a Wandering Fumarole and pass back. An attack for 1 from the Inspector brings it down to 19 on Travis. Okay, a Spire Bluff Canal and a pass of the turn, it looks like. All right, another attack for 1. Importantly, however, Kyle didn't have a second land and still does not have a second land. So Travis has fallen to 18, but Kyle being stuck on just a Concealed Courtyard here, he does have 2 clues. That doesn't really matter. Travis does have in hand a copy of Kozak's Return, and there it is. Emphatically plays that out, and Kyle's still no second land. This is looking like a runaway game here for Travis. If Kyle's not able to find a second land very soon, another Inspector, sure, yep. We have all of the clues. Spire Bluff, we're going to Lightning Axe, discarding, I believe, Lightning Axe. No, discarding a creature of some variety. It's going to kill the Thraben Inspector. Fires up Fumarole. All right, he finds a second land. He discarded a Prized Amalgam as well, but Veteran Motorist comes down here for Kyle. He's going to scry a couple of cards. Now this tells me that Travis's hand doesn't have a lot of action, but not necessarily. I mean, he's got a lot of cards still, so it's possible he could. But we'll find out. Five mana. Release the Gremlins to destroy 2 clues. There is the Release the Gremlins. So destroy X target artifacts, create X 2/2 red gremlin creature tokens. Gets 2 gremlins, kills 2 clues. Not a bad rate. Paula comes down. This is now a 4/2 Veteran Motorist. The Gremlins, of course, still trade, though. One, two, three, four, five, 7 mana. So if Travis wants to, he is able to emerge a Deep Fiend off of one of these tokens. Of course, if he has the Deep Fiend. I don't know what his hand is. I haven't really got to look at it this game, but haven't really had a look at either player's hand this game, but we'll see. So Kyle holding up mana, which leads me to believe he has some sort of kill spell possibly in his hand, like Unlicensed Disintegration. That's an 8th land for Travis, so he is able now to just hard cast Deep Fiends if he wants. There is a Sanctum of Ugin in play as well, so that'll fetch another one if he wants it to. There is a Stitchwing Scob. Stitchwing Scob. Three mana, we're going to disintegrate something. So that's rough because you're now just giving Travis back a Prized Amalgam. He is going to disintegrate here. And this will do the 3 damage. Travis has a response, however. Nope, he decides against it. Just going to go ahead and take the 3 damage. Scab down, but it won't be down for long if he wants it. There's no real good attacks here for Kyle. The 2 gremlins can double block to Paula, and a single one gets to kill the Veteran Motorist if he wanted to. Okay, so there is a Deep Fiend in Travis's hand, I have been told, but he would have to discard it if he wants to bring back the Scob. Thalia comes down here, though. The Heretic Cathar comes down, so we're going to pass the turn back. So Travis does have a copy of Deep Fiend in his hand. I'm just curious what he's waiting for to pull the trigger on. Might be looking to get more value out of all this, but right now gets to kill 3 good creatures and tap all of Kyle's mana. Yep, there's the Deep Fiend. He's going to remember to trigger his Sanctum Ugin this time. So, tapping the creatures here, it tells me that he's not planning on flashing back the Kozilek's Return. He's going to fetch out a copy of Wretched Griff. Interesting. This enables him... I don't know. I think I would have liked another Deep Fiend there. Kyle deciding what he wants to do here in response to the Deep Fiend trigger still. Okay, we're going to tap all their creatures. It's going to tap the Aether Hub. There is an Apollo trigger if he wants it. He's going to use it. He finds 2 lands on top of his deck. Depala only lets you get other dwarves, or gets you get dwarves or vehicles. I think Travis is explaining that he could have floated the mana first, just the 3rd land. Sure. Yeah, I think Travis is just explaining to Kyle that you are able to float the mana before this happens, so you can have a 3rd mana if you'd like, but. Here's an attack for 9. It's going to put Kyle down to 7. And yeah, see it. Yeah, at this point, Hunter for sure he would have wanted the lands, but this could be Wretched Griff coming down. It is. He's going to sacrifice a Gremlin to do it. So. This could... Yeah, he's going to flashback the return now. He's going to lose his Gremlin. Kyle loses his whole board. The Griff will get to come into play untapped because the Thalia was not there when it resolved. He draws a card for the Griff. And yeah, Kyle's in a really bad spot now. I mean, Travis has lethal on board. If Kyle has 1 kill spell... Sorry, my apologies. There is a clue left. You're right, Hunter. Disintegrates the Griff. I would have disintegrated the Deep Fiend here, but Travis does take 3 from that as there is a clue in play. Yeah, but Wandering Fumarole is going to be enough here. It's going to end the game. It's going to close it out for Travis. So